But again, folks, I stress, when is President Gertler going to do the right thing and simply call in law enforcement?
These Western countries that have colonized other countries, it seems that we're becoming colonized now.
David Menzies for Rebel News here at Little Gaza upon the lawns of the University of Toronto. Well, folks, as we previously reported last Friday, trespass notices were handed out to the hobos for Hamas behind this fence, and they were given the deadline of Monday morning at 8 a.m. to take down the tents and vacate the premises. Well, shockers, Monday morning came and went, and here we are Wednesday afternoon, and they are still here. Now, what the University of Toronto has done in the last several hours, they went to court to seek an injunction to get the campers to vacate the premises, and that argument is still being made in court as we film this. So as you can see, it's just the transmission is stuck in neutral. Nothing is happening. Actually, that's not quite true. We have noticed more campers coming into the encampment. We have noticed supplies being brought in. So it looks like they are beefing up for the inevitable showdown. When that showdown takes place, that remains anyone's guess. But here's the thing, folks. Why did the University of Toronto go to the lengths of issuing trespass notices? Why are they in a court seeking an injunction? It is private property. At least 11 sections of the Trespass Act are being violated right now. Why, oh why, didn't the University of Toronto do what the University of Calgary did? You might recall earlier this month, another Hobos for Hamas encampment went up at the University of Calgary, and guess what? The same day it went up was the same day the Calgary Police Service came in and dismantled it. Check out our footage from our colleague Sid Fizzard. So there you have it, folks. No notices of trespass, no going before a court asking for an injunction. Merely the university picked up the phone, dialed 911, and easy peasy, it was removed by the Calgary Police Service going into whack 'em and stack 'em mode. So again, why the difference when it comes to the University of Toronto and for that matter, some other universities across our great Dominion? Now, I can tell you for 2 days now, ever since the Monday 8 a.m. deadline came and went, I've been reaching out to the University of Toronto's media relations team with 6 specific questions regarding this ongoing eyesore, and here they are. Number 1, after the trespass notices were ignored on Monday, the university is seeking a court injunction. Is this indeed necessary? 2, earlier this month, the University of Calgary was briefly occupied by pro-Hamas demonstrators. That encampment was shut down by Calgary police the same day it went up. Why can't the University of Toronto act in the same fashion? 3, why is the fence still up? The ostensible policy reason was to prevent an occupation of the lawns. It failed, and now the squatters are using the fence to their advantage. Why does it remain standing? 4, what is the cost of the fence? 5, assuming the university gets the injunction, at what point will law enforcement be called in, assuming the trespassers continue to occupy the premises? And finally, 6, will any students or faculty members who are part of this illegal gathering be punished, i.e. expulsion, termination, etc.? Now, folks, I would reach out to some of the key negotiators. That would be Sandy Welsh, Vice Provost of Students, and Kelly Hannah Moffat, Vice President, People, Strategy, Equity, and Culture. But Welsh and Little Miss Muffet, well, they are actually worse than useless. Check out the last time my cameraman Lincoln J and I were on campus when we tried to scrum them. Why is this administration so woke and so weak? You can make one phone call to the Toronto Police Service and this is gone overnight. What's the matter with you? No? I thought universities were a place of critical thinking, of debate, but you can't even say anything, can you? And is that your title? You're some kind of director of culture, equity, people strategy? What does that even mean? No?
They have to get new leaders on both sides who are willing to actually talk. None of them are now. There's just too much mistrust, obviously, and that just leads to more violence.
I support some of the stuff these people stand for, but that thing I find very ironic because that group of people who stand with the Palestinian people also wouldn't last a day in Palestine. So I find stuff like that ironic, but in general, I support it somewhat. But on the other hand, I don't know how effective it is to protest in Canada about an issue in Israel-Palestine.
There's tents inside there. You're not allowed looking inside. And I don't know, it doesn't seem like the rest of Toronto to me.
Well, whenever you get the police in there, as I mentioned before, it's just going to justify what they're doing even more.
Really?
Well, I think
they're trespassing.
Whether you think that it's philosophically appropriate or whether it's justifiable in the way our Constitution works, what happens in real life is a whole different thing.
I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with this type of protest. I do think there's some ironic things. I don't think it's particularly doing anything.
It is pretty interesting how it is walled off. You can't really get in there. People, I don't know how you'd understand their point of view if you can't talk to them.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's like step one in any conflict resolution is how do you get communication across. But yeah, it's interesting. Honestly, I'm not used to seeing seeing this in Toronto, being around all over the place.
I feel there's less and less moderate Canadians. And I think that's like one of the issues we're experiencing.
But why don't we talk about the head honcho, University of Toronto President Merck Gertler? When is he going to do something? When is he, channel his inner Clint Eastwood a la Gran Torino?
Get up. Get off my lawn.
Oh, gracious, what am I thinking? I'm sure President Gertler would consider that to be toxic masculinity. But the fact of the matter is you are dealing with a group of people who openly chant for genocide, who are not going to go anywhere. They are awaiting the ultimate confrontation. It's what they want. So maybe President Gertler could channel his inner Jean-Luc Picard.
We've made too many compromises already, too many retreats. They invade our space, and we fall back. They assimilate entire worlds, and we fall back. Not again. The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther. And I will make them pay for what they've done.
Yeah, I think that's what we need here. Captain Picard in full revenge mode, as opposed to President Gertler resembling SCTV's Sid Dithers.
You were asking for 50% of commercial revenues. Did you get that for the janitors?
Test 1, 2, 3. Billy? The thing is, I didn't get that. No.
One for the good guys.
Mr. Ditters, Lawrence Martin, LA Times. Did you get the triple overtime you were demanding?
Well, the thing is there. I gave in on that one. It's no big deal.
Yep, that man was tough as nails sitting across the negotiating table.
Actually, I apologize. That wasn't a fair comparison. After all, Sid Dithers is far taller than President Gertler. But again, folks, I stress, when is President Gertler going to do the right thing and simply call in law enforcement? Whether or not an injunction is granted, that is what is going to have to be done in order to have this filthy tent city to go down. President Gertler, the people here want a showdown with law enforcement. It furthers their narrative of victimhood. Mr. Gertler, please give these people what they so desperately crave. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, are you sick and tired of people openly calling for genocide in the cities of our great dominion? And you know what? a lot of these people, they're not even Canadian citizens. They're foreign visitors. They are foreign students. They're people on visas. Enough is enough. If you think it's okay to chant genocide, it's time to pack your bags. If you agree with us, please go to deporthamas.com. That's deporthamas.com, and send a message to these people. You are not welcome here.